Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of the AeScripts and AE plugins summer sale. We've been here for the past 2 days, and now we're on day 3, which I'm really excited about. I am your host, Ryan, and I will be joined today with also CEO and creator Lloyd Alvarez, who we'll bring in just a moment. And we'll be bringing in flurries of guests today. We have 4 different people on the stream today, all going over all the different sales that they're offering on the site. It's all week long. You have until Friday. You have 25% off. That's right, 25% off. And we're really excited to have you here. We had some really great conversations yesterday about some great plugins, and you can catch all those replays on both the YouTube and Behance where these streams are being played. And it's just a really good time. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to bring in Lloyd Alvarez.
Hi.
Hey, Lloyd, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's good to have you back. Thanks for joining again. How has the last 24 hours been for you?
You know, they've been really good hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been top quality hours. Yeah. Especially the ones when I was sleeping. Those were my favorite hours.
Right. I always feel the same way, though. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run the little intro that we have for day 3, just to give you guys a little sneak peek of what we're looking at today. And then we should be able to bring some stuff in soon. I am also going to give you guys the lowdown on to where to find the best deals or all the deals on the website. So here you go. All right. So I also want to say hello to a bunch of people in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's great to have your support here. I want to say hello, obvious, to moderators Randall and Annika. Thank you for being here. Hello to Anna. Mark was also in the chat. We have Gareth. We have Lloyd also, who is in both chats. So hello, even though you're right there. And hello to everybody also over on YouTube. Make sure you pop in and say hello if you have any questions, any comments. If you found any of the deals on the site that you're really wild about and you want to share, feel free to hop on in. Also, if you have any questions about any of the pieces that we go on while we are going over them, please hop in, let us know what you're excited about, what questions you have, and we're happy to help you out. So for those of you that are joining without a lick of knowledge as to what is going on with the summer sale, I am very pleased to show you what's going on over on AeScripts and AE plugins. AeScripts.com has been around since, what did you say, 2008, 2009?
Yeah, 2008.
2008.
Probably before that. That's the oldest record I can find.
Right. That's when your life got a little bit more chaotic and a little bit happier altogether in the same. And it's been a really great resource for, I know, me as a motion designer. I have really used a lot of the plugins and extensions that you can just add straight on to any of the supported programs that the plugins go with. And it really helps elevate your programs to a next level with different activations and extensions that can help your workflow and make things easier for you. Mine, I'll show you a few of my favorites actually as we go over, because it has a really good installer as well to make sure that you have everything just seamlessly integrated into your programs. And we'll go over that in just a second. But I also want to go ahead and just share the website as it stands right now. If you go to AeScripts.com, you will be able to be directed directly to the sales, which is really exciting. And it'll give you right there with all the sales so that you can load more and you can cycle through them. And then you can also check out a little sneak peek for week 4, which will be happening in August. And that has the full list of creators and all of their flurry of things to offer. Unfortunately, if you're learning about this now, you missed out on week 1 and week 2. But it is a really good curation of really quality extensions. Lloyd goes and picks through them himself and really picks out some of the ones that are really top notch. I've learned a lot of extensions through these sales. And obviously, everything is wonderfully priced when the sales are not going on. But this is your best chance to get them as cheap as they ever will be. And it's just always a good thing to save a few pennies if you can. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and we're going to bring on Gabriel. Gabriel is our first guest for the night. You can check out all of his stuff just by going through and clicking onto his name from the list of things. Or if you want to go and figure out some of the extensions just by browsing, they'll also pop up as well. But we have a wonderfully curated profile for all of the artists, and it's my pleasure to bring him in. So before we do that, though, I do want to go ahead and give you guys just a little sneak peek as to the extensions that we will be talking about, and I will send the trailers to what should we do first? Let's do Pixel Sorter, because that one's the oldest one, right? Let's do Pixel Sorter. Because that one's extremely popular, and we'll go and check out what that looks like and what it offers. So here you go. All right, and help me welcome Gabriel. Hi, Gabriel. How's it going? Oh, man, we don't have your audio.
Classic.
We'll get in.
I'm good.
There you go.
There you go.
You're in there now. So is that a 3D printer behind you?
It is. I'm moving in a few days, so it's I'm a little bit in between boxes and stuff. But yeah, that's my 3D printer.
Oh, that's awesome. A man of many trades.
Yeah, I'm not playing enough with it, but
yeah, have you created a lot with it?
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough for how much it is.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. It's great to have you.
Hey, my pleasure.
How long have you been making scripts and plugins?
It all started, I believe it's 5 years ago with Pixel Sorter. Actually, that was my first plugin and my first time coding in C++ and learning all that stuff while I was doing it. And I contacted Lloyd at the time, and yeah, we've put up on sale on AeScripts, and it's been 5 years.
5 years. And so what got you into kind of coding and the need to create pieces of additional software?
Yeah, so I've always been kind of geeky and always loved to code and doing websites and learning new programming languages. And but that was a hobby. Like my profession, I was motion designer in the past, and then a creative director in a studio, in an animation studio here in Montreal, Canada. And sometimes, you stumble upon something that doesn't work the way you want it to work. And I started doing like a few people like expressions and scripts in After Effects just to make my workflow easier and quicker. And then one day I heard of pixel sorting, and at the time it was, maybe some of you guys can remember, but you had to do it with an app called Processing that will use your GPU with JavaScript. But basically you had to code a little bit to get some results, and you had to code some script so it will process like image sequences out of After Effects, and then you will adjust your setting and go back in After Effects. So I said, hey, that will be so nice to have that inside After Effects, because this is my favorite tool of all time. After Effects, so powerful, and it's a great design tool. I use After Effects even for frame designs rather than Photoshop. So anyway, I love to work inside that software and not leave that software. So I thought it will be so nice to have it inside After Effects. So maybe and at the time I didn't know how to code, but not a plugin, not an After Effects plugin, obviously. So I thought maybe it's doable, maybe it's not, and if it's not, I'll figure out why. Let's try.
And how long did it take for you to create Pixel Sorter?
Oh, that's a very tough question, because I was learning C++ at the time, at the same time. So I guess, I don't know, 3 months between like the idea and the final product. And but I remember one day it kind of worked. Like I had the loop where I will process an image inside of plugin After Effects, and that was, I didn't sleep that night, because okay, now that I know it's gonna work, I need to finish it. And then I think in 2 weeks it was done, because I knew I had to finish it. I had the proof that this was possible.
That's phenomenal. It's something that is such of a foreign language to me, quite literally. But Annika actually is mentioning that she didn't know that plugins were made in C++, and she was wondering if all the plugins are coded with C++.
Yeah, plugins, they do, but the most popular are there's a wide variety of tools in After Effects that are scripts or extensions, and those are a lot easier to get in. It's JavaScript for the scripts, and it's also JavaScript, but like basically HTML and CSS. So if you know how to code a website, you pretty much know how to code an extension for After Effects. Those are more tools that will help you with the workflow or output things and process it in the background, like some tools do. But if you want a real plugin, you need to get in the real deal in C++.
Get into the know-how of the elbow grease of C++.
But it's doable. Since then, a few tutorials came out, and today it's I'd say because of 1 or 2 tutorials that covers the subject, it will be a lot easier for me to redo.
Yeah. Oh, and you have some fans, by the way, especially in the YouTube chat over here. We have Pixel Sorter is like adding extra cheese on a cheese pizza. Love that plugin. That's from Alex Fortin. So hopefully you like your dairy.
Thanks, Alex.
Also, Joe is.
It does shred the pixels, by the way. So it's a good analogy.
Oh yeah, just with like shredded cheese, shredded pixels.
Absolutely. I'm sure he did it on purpose.
Also, you're getting called out for Montreal from Elise Forel, and Joe's also saying Pixel Sort is awesome. So thank you guys for saying hello in the chat, and we appreciate the support. Obviously, Gabriel has really expanded his whole experience as a plugin creator, as we have a whole flurry of the applications provided on the site today. I personally have this glitch bundle, which if you guys were just watching that intro a few minutes ago with the day 3 hype, I use Data Glitch plugin actually as a way to transition in between scenes. I love using it in my own streams. Data Mosh actually was brought to my attention because I saw it on Adult Swim at a point. They like to use it a lot in Off the Air. And then I was really wondering how that was working. And then my roommate is a video editor and he works on a few like Netflix series. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what they are, but he has been trying to push Data Mosh along with that as well, just because he enjoys how it looks. And he brought it to my attention. I played around with it. Haven't found the right client to use it for. It's definitely more of like a
Adult Swim.
Studio.
It's like the perfect place to use it,
right? And it's a really great deal. Right now it's $124. It's normally $169. This still says up to 25% off, but it's still true. Is 25%.
Amazing.
Yeah, you better get the glitch bundle.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah,
I wanted to make a comment about the feeling that you didn't sleep at the point when you got the program running. I made a similar switch from I used to be a creative director and then got into programming. And I think that when you're an animator or designer, whether you achieved your goal or not is a subjective thing, right? Like some people like it, some people don't like it. And it's really kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I got, maybe you don't like it and everybody else likes it. But with code, it either works or it doesn't work. It's kind of like binary. And that pleasure of it just working it was a new feeling for me that I think you can totally relate to there.
You have actually, I don't know if you're in a relationship, but Amelia says, "I love you, Gabriel," in the chat. So if you're looking for love,
that's my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Then that'll do it. Found love in the StreamYard stream.
That'd be a nice story.
But is there anything that you wanted to go over in particular, actually, for your plugins that you have offered? I see that you also have Transfusion here as well, but I know that that's not on sale because that's something that you're actively working on. Was there any sort of demo or any sort of call to action that you kind of wanted to bring forward with any of your plugins?
Yeah, maybe Pixel Sorter has been like around for 5 years, and it's still amazes me how people find new ways to use it. And I think that's part of. And by the way, the story that I've told before was when I coded Pixel Sorter 1, and then 2 years later, I actually recoded all the way from scratch because I was getting better at coding. So I felt that it will need an upgrade. And the version that is live actually is a version 2, and this one has a lot of powerful features. And it's always nice to see. I've been very, very surprised of like what people are doing with it. I've seen apparel with like pixel sorting in it. I've seen frames hanging on the walls with like you can do style frames with this, and it's not only. It started with a nice transition glitch and evolved into like something more. It's very a design tool for me. That's what's nice about it. And yesterday, maybe I can show you something, because yesterday or 2 days ago, I got a comment on AeScripts. And by the way, that's the nice thing about this, is that the community and the users are always commenting, and they email me their comments or questions, and this makes the product better, and that's why the product has evolved over 5 years. I'll try to share my screen. I cannot do 2 things at once, Okay.
Talking and bubble gum at the same time.
And yes, someone yesterday or 2 days ago asked the question if we could do kind of an explosion, and he sent a reference on the forum. So I started to play with Pixel Sorter in a way I've never experienced it before, and I found like even new things that I didn't know we could do with the plugin, because this is a pretty simple plugin. Like, it does one thing, but the thing it does mixed with other other effects makes it pretty surprising. So this is like this is a footage with pixel sorter on top of it. But then when you add some effects on top of it, and I'll do I'm preparing a tutorial for that specific look. But when you add some kind of effects on top of it, it creates something completely different. So this is the nice thing about this tool. Also, there is my second tool that I've put out, which also for me is a design tool, meaning that I wanted to do those elevation lines in After Effects, and I know we can do it in Illustrator, and there are some tricks to like extract the edges of a photo and crank the level. So what I did basically is I've done a prototype in After Effects using only thresholds and Luma keys and stuff like that to extract the data, the Luma data of an image. But it was kind of messy and hard to use. So I thought, okay, let's do a plugin with this technique. And that's where I came up with Topograph, which basically takes an image and creates elevation lines with it. And with this tool, again, it's not about doing something that isn't doable in After Effects alone, but just having it live in After Effects with the feedback and the live feedback, and you can animate everything. Then you can come up with new design ideas. And I think that's the main idea behind my tools.
Really cool that you had created these plugins with one thing in mind, and like you said, 5 years later, you're kind of still exploring and finding new ways to use the same thing. Obviously, it has developed and evolved, as you said. It is on the second version of it, but it is really exciting to kind of just know that just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean that it can't be done, and that there's still new ways to use these plugins and find ways to make explosions with pixels.
And so the user's feedback is very valuable. I learn a lot from what people are sending me, and the Instagram, the hashtag there's Topograph plugin and there's AE Pixel Sorter, and I see a lot of surprising stuff in there.
Now, have you used Topograph in particular client work or things that you've kind of brought to market, or is that more of like a fun exploration that you had that fulfilled something that you needed in your personal life?
Yeah, that was more for a fun exploration. Actually, I don't do client work. Today I quit the job that I had as a creative director. But
congratulations.
Even there, yeah, thank you. But even there, like, I haven't been like directly doing client stuff myself for like, I will say about 5 years, when I got into this new era of coding and programming. And the other thing, to bounce on what you said earlier, Lloyd, the other thing that I discovered is that it's nice to alternate between like offering a service and doing client work, and then you can take a pause and build a product. And when you said this is binary, it's also binary because you do something, and then when you do client work, you said like people, they will like it, they will not like it, or give you comments. But with a product, if people like it, they will buy it. If they don't, they won't buy it, and that's it. There is no client feedback and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nice it's a new discovery for me.
And if they don't like it, we can just give them their money back. It's done.
Exactly.
As opposed to the client who's like Super Bowl commercial and they're upset that they don't like it. And you're like, wow.
Right.
No, and that's the idea behind this. It's you do tools that I think they are useful, but if they're not, it's okay.
And also, thank you, Annika, for over in the Behance chat. Thank you for putting in the help link into the chat. Lord mentioned it a little bit yesterday, but actually, when you use that link and you are reaching out, you more likely than not are getting in contact with actually the actual developer that created your plugin. So it really helps to not only help solve your issue, but it also helps provide feedback and user testing for the plugins that are created. It's a very small community, a strong community nonetheless, but a small community in the sense that feedback is is warranted and feedback is appreciated. That's the word I'm looking for. And so it's really helpful.
And feedback is heard. I mean, you'd be surprised how many features are implemented from users just saying, "Hey, I wish it did this," or "I wish it worked this way," or "This is working this way, but it really should work this other way." Yeah, developers really listen to all that feedback, so don't be shy.
Exactly.
So I want to also just run. I know we have a few more of the trailers that I can have queued up, and I know that we're also kind of running on time here, but I do want to go ahead and I'm going to do the data mosh thing because I think the
data mosh is not Gab's plugin, just to be clear.
Oh, okay, but it's still part of the bundle, though, correct?
Yeah, it's part of the
bundle but it's from different authors.
Oh, okay, well, we're not going to play that then.
Still because it's a bundle, but just to be.
We're not going to do it then. So we don't have time for that. You guys can get it if you want. I'm not going to play the trailer.
You can play the Topograph trailer if you want.
Okay. Well, I had a little bit of the Topograph up.
Which is Transfusion. Do you have the Transfusion
or Transfusion
demo?
No, let's Transfusion. I don't have it logged in, but we can definitely do a little preview of it with a screen share here, and we can also throw the link into both of the chats here for Transfusions.
Yeah, this one's interesting too, and basically my idea behind this is that like AI and machine learning and style transfer started to become a trend, and again, same thinking behind Transfusion than Pixel Sorter is that to do this, at least back in the days, you needed to code and you needed to be a little bit geeky. But again, I said, okay, I want to do this inside After Effects, and that's how I came up with the idea to bundle a style transfer library in an After Effects plugin.
And this is remarkable. Just the idea that like AI is speeding up at such a mind-blowing rate, and it's also really interesting to see how you can kind of leverage that and add it to your product.
That's the fast. They call it fast style transfer, so it's an approximate style transfer. Obviously, there are better results that you can get with a GPU card and some code, and if you wait 15 minutes per frame. But we figured that for an After Effects plugin, that was a good algorithm to use. And actually, Adobe just threw in that same fast style transfer algorithm in Photoshop this year. So.
Oh, and Mike Overbeck, welcome back. Mike, we had him actually on the show yesterday. He is also in the chat, and he's saying that most tools at the scripts and plugins tools also have a free trial period, so you can try before you buy, which is also great. And then you can see if it actually works for you, and then you can hop right back out of it. But with that said, though, I think we do have Alex coming up in just a minute. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on before we say goodbye, Gabe?
I don't know. Do you
have anybody you want to say hello to or anything, or goodbye? Maybe and I love you.
I'll say hello to Elua. Thanks for being there, and have a great week of sales, and buy the Glitch plugin.
Oh, also Alexis says that they won a local short film contest using Transfusion. So I mean that you have that going for you as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I want to see that. Send it to me.
Yeah, make sure that you guys share that, whether you put that in the chat or somewhere, like maybe tweet AeScripts and plugins afterwards. I can go ahead and I can make sure that I update the stream information to also have Gabriel's information. So if you guys want to tweet him and check him out, where can people find your stuff?
On that note of sharing stuff, if you tag hashtag AeScripts or share it on the at AeScripts user account in both Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, then we're always sharing people's work. So it's a great way. We have a big following, so a lot of times it's a great way to get your work onto a bigger audience. So yeah, hashtag AeScripts, and also it's really great to mention the tools that you used, so that we can also mention that, because of course that's what matters to us and our followers.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you again, Gabe. It's great having you, and it's really exciting to learn about the plugins. The sale for your pieces will be going on until Friday, and hopefully people go and check it out. I'm excited to see what people have made with it, and yeah, thanks for coming on.
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Next up, we have Alex coming on, which I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but we have a really cool tool called Smart Key Reverse. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've created something and you highlight and then you right click and you go to reverse keyframes, but it's so complicated that it kind of messes up your whole project. We finally kind of have a solution to that, and we're excited to have Alex on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the trailer for it, and then we'll hop on in. But here you go, Smart Key Reverse. All right. And so, guys, please help me welcome Alex to the show. Hi, Alex. How's it going?
Yeah. Hi, everyone, guys. I'm happy to be here. It goes all right. Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, it's going great. It's been an exciting week to especially learn a lot of new plugins. This is one that was brought onto my radar because of actually this sale itself. It's an issue that I have ran into personally for a long time, and it's exciting to see that there is a solution for it. How long ago did you create this?
Yeah, it was. I started to create it. Let's tell it from the very beginning. Actually, some months ago, it is more than 1 year ago. I got a project where I needed to work a lot with the animation. And then, so it was really routine work, and I decided to do it manually. The work was related to create fade-in animation, and then you need to get the same but reversed. So, and I decided, okay, there's not a problem. When I spend like 6 hours to do this routine work, it's okay. I started doing it, and after that, from the client, I'm getting some edits. And now I realize that I need to do this routine work again and again to modify something. And then I decided, oh no, that shouldn't be like this. So I need to automate this process. And of course, I need to spend 6 hours to do some this work, but I can automate and spend 100 hours. And I spent around like 2-3 months on creating of this tool, and actually I didn't believe that then I can get this tool and start sell it on AeScripts. It was personally for me, it was personal my task. I wanted to speed up my workflow, and then it was just script with no user interface. I started writing it, and I got this, and I decided what happens if I add some user interface panel and add some buttons, because sometimes in some cases I need to change some behavior of my code, and it's not super useful and easy to do in code editor. So it's better to do in user interface panel. So I started to coding this user interface and then add some new buttons, some new functions, and then offer it to Lloyd, and hopefully Lloyd me replied. Now I have it submitted on AeScripts, and I'm really proud that customers, they use this, and I really feel this is a useful instrument. Well, here I have some share screen or not. I lost your voice. Wait.
Yeah, Ryan,
Yeah,
we're both muted suddenly.
Oh yeah, I was muted. Okay, all right. I just wanted to keep you guys in suspense. But already over on YouTube chat, we have Connor saying that he loves Smart Key Reverse, super useful and saves a lot of time. So always happy to see people happy with it. I mean, I can also attest to it. It's can save you literal like dozens of minutes, which sounds ridiculous, but when you're editing something, that adds up very quickly.
Exponential time savings.
Yeah,
absolutely. Actually, we have this tool on AeScripts that they are a bit different. So they work in the way when you have existing keyframes and you need to reverse, then you select and you got these existing keyframes reversed. So this is not really that I wanted to get. So I needed to reverse existing keyframes, but get it in the end of the composition or at the end of the layer. And of course, when you have multiple layers, multiple properties, and it is complex animation, and it's very, you feel that you waste your time on doing this manually. And actually, yeah, I forgot that this promo video that you showed, this is with user interface of, this is Smart Key Reverse with first version, but now I have second version. And I have some improvements and new functions. And let I share my screen and show you how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also so admirable, the fact that you were saying that it's only been a few months, a little bit, about a year, you said, since you created this. And it's really exciting that you already have updates to the user interface and you're already finding ways to expedite it to make it even more useful and streamlined. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Can I hear my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Yep.
Yeah. So we create composition and let's create some shape here. And okay, I want to add some keyframe here, for example, position, and we'll move it here. And also let's add some scale, transparency, rotation, whatever. Okay, scale, rotation, and opacity here, and change scale here, rotate it, and opacity. And of course, we need to set it to from linear interpolation to, let's do it easy. So where is my, here I have my Smart Key Reverse. Okay, now I need to dock it. Well, now it's a smaller user interface design. So you save your valuable area in After Effects. So I group it in these tabs. So here I have the same. You can do this reverse between layers, all layers in your composition, or selected or enabled. Enabled also is sometimes a very useful thing, because when you have track mat and some of the layers, they are disabled and you don't want to reverse it. Also, you can choose between keyframes. It could be all keyframes, selected, specified. And the interesting thing that I add one more function. It is work area, and let's see how it works. So the basic thing, if it's in to out point, so it reverses these keyframes from in to out point of the layer. So one click and you have it here. Yep, it's very nice. Sometimes work area. Let's change work area. We see how it should be. Like this. Yep. So you can work in frames of work area, and at time is so reverse. Yeah. Very useful, and also it works with multiple layers, duplicated several times. Let's show you all keyframes and reverse into out point. One click and you have it done. Absolutely good thing. And what you can even do is you can create. So you cannot create only a fade out animation. Let's say I want to reverse it at time here, and then I work. I don't want to do. I want to take these keyframes Let's select, and reverse it that time again. So you can play around with these options and you can get some different animations in one click. And I can really show you how it works on a real project. Don't save it. Well, here you have title. Yeah, if we take a look at the how this animation is complex. No, yeah, this is not really complex, but sometimes it's, oh, this is holy shit. And yeah, and let's reverse it and get it in the end. Right. Where is this?
Also, Elise is saying that the nice yellow color reminds him of the old AE days before the blue highlights, which I have to say is really nice to have a such poignant and saturated extension. A lot of times, especially with like the blues, I know that your screen can get filled up very quickly with a bunch of different plugins, and it's kind of a scenario where you have to go up to window and you have to make it go invisible and then bring it back just so you can find it on the screen. I never lose Smart Key, and I think that is really admirable. I really like the yellow. Please never change it. And I can agree with that wholly.
Yeah, and even to have fun here, you have some counter how many keyframes. You reverse. Now I have 2,000 keyframes, but before it was even more because I reinstalled this tool, and they have a badge levels and just to have fun.
Freelancers can now charge by keyframe as opposed to by day or hour, right?
Oh God, how quickly things would escalate so quickly. But it is nice to have that kind of gamification also. Is that just a feature that you added just for fun for yourself, or is there kind of like a use case that you use when you're approaching a project, or is that just kind of something that you want to do for fun?
No, you mean this badge level encounter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just, on this tool, I was learning JavaScript. I was wondering, who are these people in AeScripts that they are motion designers, they have such good skill in After Effects, and they also are programmers. And actually, I'm a motion designer. I started in 2013, and I was watching some YouTube video, and it was time lapse. It was motion time lapse, and I decided, wow, I want to create the same time lapse about my city. And but I didn't know. I know that exists After Effects and Premiere Pro, but I didn't know the difference of these programs and the main purposes. And I know that Premiere Pro is something for compositing, After Effects something for more complicated. And I decided, well, what I need to start learn, and decided I start learn After Effects. And yeah, it was right decision. Now I'm a motion designer. Now I create this finally time lapse. And I applied for a competition and got a prize. And it was a competition, our national competition in the country of advertisement. I created social video about the problems, ecological problems in our city. So it was filmed with time-lapse technique. So, and then I was working on different projects in film studio and somewhere else. Yeah, international projects. I was working on 3D, and I always wanted to get knowledge how to use JavaScript, how to optimize your workflow, because sometimes it is very boring to sitting and waste your time by clicking something. And I started learning JavaScript, but it was basics, and I didn't know. It was wrong way of my learning JavaScript because I didn't get any projects. And yeah, like as I said before, 1 year ago, I got a project where I needed to work with animation, and yeah, and I decided to write this code. And then when you have a real project, then you can speed up your learning of some things, and it is going to be more productive. And for your question, what I did, why I did this? Yeah, I did this because for learning and for fun. I know that people like some funny things in tools. Yeah, kind of like this.
Yeah, and to your point of the idea of just so many people being so talented on AeScripts and A plugins, I kind of reiterated the same thing to Lloyd so many times because I myself am just a motion designer and I don't necessarily know the inner mechanisms of all the codes and JavaScript. I'm even kind of intimidated by expressions often, and it's just really admirable to see you pop on and have an issue and solve it. Tom in the YouTube chat is also saying the same thing. He says that it really seems like 95% of the Adobe dev community are all self-taught artists who wanted to fix their own problems, which is why the tools are so great. And Jay also says respect. You also have some new discovery from Joe, who says that he didn't know that there was such a plugin and is excited about it. And Elise says that he'll have to try to figure it out. And says that it looks like a huge time saver, which, yes, I can attest to. Definitely a huge time saver. Do you have anything else planned in the works? Do you have anything planned kind of after this plugin? Is there something else that you kind of want to work on?
Yeah.
Or?
Yes. Yeah. I have the tool, the one tool. It launched on Monday, so I think this is really exciting tool for Adobe Premiere Pro. So of course, here I needed to apply more knowledge. I combine it, HTML, CSS, jQuery, everything. So now it's an extension. It's not a script. And here also, so what this tool does, it creates and randomly generates title animations. So just in one click. So actually, my idea. So you need to simplify your workflow. One click and you reverse keyframes. One click and you get your title animations. So this Monday, next week, so made a new tool. It's called Ultimate Titles, and I think it's gonna be all right.
That's so exciting! Congratulations! So we're less than a week away from that, and will that also be on AeScripts?
Yeah, as well. Yeah, of course.
And they can find that right under just your author page for Creative Motion, right?
Yeah, but it's not published now.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be on Monday.
It's a good point to say. If you are not already subscribed to our newsletter, which you can do so, aescripts.com/subscription, you can sign up there and all new tools are announced via our newsletter. So that's a great way to stay on top of all the new stuff that's coming out.
It also has a really good feature where if you buy or purchase any sort of subscription service through the site, you can manually click on and off the tools that you want to get notified about, which is really cool.
That's true. Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's like a new version notification that you can sign up for. And also, if you use the Manager app that you have been mentioning, Ryan, you can also be notified of new tools that you already purchased. So yeah, in that subscription link, you can sign up to the general newsletter, but you can also sign up for just individual tools that you want to be notified about when there's new versions released for those.
And on to that point, also, the idea is that there are lots of updates to all of these programs regularly, even to kind of like what Alex was talking about with new updates to the interface and streamlining the whole course. You can expect that when you buy these, there will be updates, and they often also introduce new features, which is really exciting. Do you see any new features in Smart Key coming up? I know you already kind of went above and beyond and have updated it to this point, but is there anything else in the pipeline for that, or is you mostly focusing on your new title?
Yeah, last half a year I was focusing on my new extension, but I'm always ready to release new features, but I'm not really sure which features I want to release. Please, I really will be really appreciate you if my customers or some other people, they give me some feedback, what should be implemented. Please write somewhere in some social networks and on AeScripts.com, because I feel that it's could be more productive tool but I need to get feedback to be sure when I need to improve and install.
So every product page has a comments section where you can leave comments, but if you want to have direct conversations with Alex, you can go to the contact page and then select Smart Key Reverse from the product dropdown and specifically have a private conversation about whatever. So usually if you need technical assistance, the support ticket via contact is the best way to do it. So that, you know, people are not bored with very specific stuff on the chat. But the comments are sort of like a public forum to discuss stuff as well.
Yeah, and you'll also be able to go through and you'll be able to see the version history if you need to downgrade or anything. It's all possible. But I did, yeah, I know you brought up the idea of the AE plugin manager, which is really great.
That's available under support. If you go to the support, yeah, actually show how we can find that under support. There's tools, and then you can see the manager app there.
Manager app and ZXP installer both.
Yeah.
And so this is a free feature that comes along, whether or not you even buy any plugins. It's just really helpful as a way to kind of see an overview of what you have. And you can go in, you can even go and you can click and highlight. You can install more than one thing at a time. It'll have all your licenses, so you can go in and you can activate or deactivate your license. And it'll also keep everything updated for you. It'll give you push notifications as well if you want to have a constant updated system, which is always good to have. And it'll be on the bottom where it'll just say like, hey, there's a new update for this. Check it out. And you'll be able to click and update immediately. It'll just go straight to your new program, which is nice.
And the manager is another direct result of user feedback. So when we first launched back in 2008, we only had a handful of products. But as we've obviously grown and grown, there's more and more products. And we realized that our customers had more and more of our plugins. And, you know, every time After Effects releases a new version, the way that After Effects works is actually like a brand new program in your system. So they don't really copy over what you had in the previous one. In recent versions, they've offered to copy some of your prefs and stuff, but you had to like manually reinstall all your plugins. And so we got a lot of feedback on how frustrating that was. It's not a problem we invented, but here we are obviously always trying to figure out how we can create a solution. So with the manager app, it's like literally a one-click affair to reinstall all of your plugins into the new version of After Effects, or you have a new computer, or if you're a freelancer and you're working on a computer just for the day, you can use the manager to download all of your stuff and license it, and then at the end of the day, unlicense it and remove it. It's super easy to use and really fast, and that again is directly created from user feedback. So keep it in there.
How long has that been around? It's been around for like a year, right?
No, it's been around it's been around for a lot longer than that. But we did a really silent, slow release because as you can imagine, it's been a gargantuan project. So we wanted to make sure that we got it right before we made a big announcement about it. We have to make so many different products work So Kevin Shires, by the way, is the author that works on the manager, and he's just been doing an amazing job, keeping that up to date. And just every time that somebody opens a ticket and is having an installation problem with the manager, we fix it, and that's kind of how it's come along. So we've only made it really public in the last couple of years, but it's been around longer than that. We've been slowly but surely fixing everything that is reported.
There's also the problem of just like the last 3 years are all blur because of COVID. I have no idea any sense of time anymore. Everything is just within the last year, it seems. So I know we've kind of gone over your two offerings that you've got. Alex, is there anything else that you kind of want to include or you want to touch on before we send you away?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat your question?
Oh, you're fine. I spoke through that very quickly. I'm just wondering, is there anything else that you want to touch on? Is there anything else that you want to speak to before we send you away?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys, for this very nice invitation. I'm really happy to be here. on this live stream. Actually, yeah, I'm new in AeScripts, but I believe we will work together better and better. And now it goes week 3 and use it. Week 3 of sale, use it. And it is almost middle of summer. Also, don't try this opportunity to enjoy your summer. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Okay,
so
bye.
Coming up in just a little bit, we are going to have 2 more guests. We're going to have Alan and Zach on. We have them scheduled for just a little bit later. So I did want to take a chance, though, to go into and look at some of the other offerings that are for the summer sale and kind of walk through them with Lloyd over some of the great offerings of people who necessarily can't be on stream with us, but have really great offerings of plugins that are super useful and helpful. And so I want to also go ahead and share my screen again with this button, which I will do. And as I was saying earlier, when you go to AeScripts.com right now, it will automatically bring you to the sales page. All of these are included on the sales. If you want to go ahead and have a permalink for the sales, especially if you're looking forward to week 4 and you want to just take a look at it, that's not until August 9th. But you can also pop through here and see if there's any ones in particular that you're interested in checking out. One of the ones that I wanted to bring up in particular comes from, gotta find the right name for it, from Network Studio, but it's Karen. There we go, with Projection 3D. And do you want to talk a little bit about this, Lloyd?
Yeah, it's this is definitely one of our more popular products. It allows you to do really sort of advanced camera projection in After Effects. A lot of people don't realize that the After Effects camera can actually project a layer. So you can actually do the same camera projection tricks that you can do in 3D programs in After Effects. So all of these animations were created with a still image. So if you start with a still image and you cut out masks in the right way, and you use Projection 3D, here you can see you can literally create these 3D scenes from, again, a single 2D still image.
Which is wild.
And quite literally bring your images to life. So yeah, it's super awesome, and it is super flexible, and you can really do some pretty crazy things that you probably did not know were possible to do in After Effects. So this one is wildly popular because it creates such a stunning result that it's really great.
Yeah, and right there, you can see right there, it's normally $85, and it's all the way down to $63.75, which is a fantastic deal.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those tools where you can literally put, on these freelance job boards, you could totally say, I'm going to create a 3D image from your 2D image and pay for the price of this in half a job. So
yeah. It's definitely an investment with not a big overhead that can definitely get you jobs that are charging way more than you will for the plugin itself. So within that, there is a bunch still also on sale. There is a keying refinery. Obviously, there's like LumaKey and there's Keylight in After Effects, but sometimes they don't necessarily work as strong as you would like them to. There is a feature on sale. This is normally $65.
Yeah, this is not a keyer. This is a script that uses the existing. It actually literally works with Keylight, and it just does like all the steps that you would need to do as a compositor to get a good key. This does for you, right? So like, it's not just a matter of throwing on Keylight and getting a result. It's knowing how to get the details in the hair, and it's usually having to be done with several passes. So here you can see it's showing you the difference between just using Keylight and then using after keying, which again is a script that does a lot of the steps that you would need to do as a compositor to get a good key. And a lot of our tools are this way, by the way. You know, it's a lot of like, you're getting a lot of knowledge into a tool that some people might have gathered for many years working as a compositor.
Yeah, it's almost like you still have to go to the gym to work out, but it's kind of nice to have some protein powder to help bulk you up a little bit more.
Well, no, it's more like a personal trainer, you know, consolidated their years of learning into a nifty little guide that you can use to just do your training that one day.
Absolutely. Well, I'm also saying that Alan and Zach are also joining in. I think there's a lot to still unpack here with Network Stereo. So, like I said, we have 2 more days after today for our sale to continue going. So stay tuned, and we'll be sure to highlight them properly. But I do want to go ahead and bring in Alan and Zach since they're here. We'll be talking about their collaborated plugin. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run the syntax highlight right now, and then we'll bring them on in. So we're gonna hack into the mainframe here. We're gonna. I wanted to like pull a bunch of different like Matrix and ridiculous Hollywood hacking things, but I also didn't want to get anybody flagged for any copyright violations. But with this wonderful plugin, you can definitely make all your dreams come true of people getting into the mainframe. But I do want to go ahead and bring in Alan and Zach. So thanks for coming on the show. And how's it going, guys?
Hi there.
You're muted, Zach.
We don't hear you, Zach.
Well, that's because I had the mute button. And that would do it.
New feature. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Doing so well. Very well.
Good.
It's not often that Ash gets to like take the spotlight, so this is fun.
Yes. This
Yeah,
is why
it's
we
good
did
for
it
like
fail.
as many people as I have fingers, I think.
No, it's great to have it on sale, though. Can you guys talk a little bit about why you made this and where it came from, how long it's been around?
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump into this. And so I've worked a lot. Back in the day, I used to do like a lot of animation, motion design, specifically for FUI, like film UI stuff. And the whole problem is anytime you see a screen of scrolling code or like the hacker is coding, well, to make that look real, you want it to be highlighted. You want it to have all the colors like a real code editor has. So the way I would do this is open up Photoshop and select each instance of the word var and const and color them something. Each instance of a bracket and color that. And I would do this, it would take hours and just suck. And so I knew that there was some idea here to have like some sort of automated process, especially because once you do that, it's just a flat image and you can't animate it at all, which you kind of need for like text animation and blinky bloopy stuff. So that's sort of where Ash was born, I think 5 or 6 years ago when I was back in Montreal. And for help with that, I called my friend Alan.
Yeah, we worked in two different studios, although not in the same team, but we worked together. We were good friends. I always wanted to explore making a script for After Effects. I love After Effects. I think it's an awesome tool. And I was curious, and I knew that Zach had done several tools by that point and continues to make more. And I wanted to find a niche thing to try to do together, and we did Ash.
Yeah, and it's very niche. It's
extremely.
Because it doesn't make the text for you. It doesn't animate the text for you. You have to bring your own code text into After Effects. And what it will do is analyze that, detect the language, and highlight the colors and give you a way to like change the colors out. So it's super, super specific, but hopefully valuable.
Do you feel like
because of course when it's a text layer, you get the benefit of like basically infinite resolution. You can size it as much as you want.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's great.
I mean, we
That's
should
sharp
point out that this is what a code editor does. When you're a programmer and you're using a code editor, the reason it highlights this text the way it does is because it makes the code easier to read. So anybody who's done programming is going to be instantly familiar with that sort of style of highlighting. And this is to Zach's point, when you're watching a movie, and especially back in the day, you would see these computer simulations, and any programmer was like, "This is totally fake." And it kind of
it was always like a green on black, and like, who codes in green on black? Come on.
Yeah, like, and so that's, I think at some point, I don't know what the year was, but at some point they decided there's enough programmers out there viewing these movies that we need to make the code look real. And so without a tool like this one, like Zach said, it was just a lot of tedious manual work to do it. So this is awesome. And yes, this is literally the definition of a niche script.
It's a lot.
But that said, I would say that with the niche comes a great importance and the need to do it right. And I think that's where this kind of really excels and highlights itself. Just because, it's like you said, there's enough people now watching and obtaining knowledge about code to go in and just fake it at this point. So it's kind of really nice to just be able to go. You can set all the colors to your own liking, so you can still build it out to whatever you want, which is nice in case you need to be on brand. But
there's still an art director somewhere telling you how to do it.
Yeah, make the variables red.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like we use a library, like an engine behind this that real code editors use, and so this is like really they're trying to be accurate to what you would expect. It's definitely something that's a little, again, overkill and niche for like an After Effects tool, but it's sort of like a fun toy. On the flip side, every person I know that specializes in doing FUI design has a copy of it. So that's a really cool thing to see, that it is being used on these productions, TV shows and films. That's it's nice. It's neat. It's good to know that.
Elise is happy about Montreal again, and also saying that it looks like terminal rendering with AE render.
But more colorful.
I'm going to have to correct you there. AE render uses a very boring black and whatever, just one color thing. There's no syntax highlighting. This
has little Skittles on top of it.
This is coding 2.0, baby.
The Skittles are beautiful. So I can just like run through how it works real quick if that's of interest.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
All right. So we're going to share screen.
And Zach, somebody's asking in the chat if it's compatible with the Monarch color theme from VS Code, meaning can you load a VS Code?
I believe you can create your own custom themes. So you could grab a color picker and just pick it apart.
So part of the
couple of clicks.
I mean, the base idea is you've got some code here. Here I have an expression that'll let you loop paths, but that's not really the point.
We can't see your screen though. Can we see
here? There we go.
There you go.
All right, so I've got an expression up. Like, this is some JavaScript code in a text layer. It's an expression for looping paths in a specific way, or looping a trim path. But with Ash, you can either have it auto-detect the language, or in this case, I'm just going to choose JavaScript, because it's JavaScript.
Yeah, I will just interject and say that if the code is like really short, like six or seven lines, sometimes the auto-detection doesn't have enough context to figure it out because it might look too similar to other languages.
Yeah,
that's why the explicit mode is good. If you know,
I have seen that as well with like some of the examples. Auto detect, you would hope it works. I'm just like, well, okay, fine. But we have our code. We're going to hit highlight. It's going to do a bit of thinking. There's a little progress being written to the info panel, which you should always have up in After Effects anyway. And it's now highlighted all the code. It's still a live text layer. I'm just going to link the background color.
What would you say to someone who, I don't know, doesn't necessarily always keep the info tab open?
You're using After Effects wrong. I mean,
there's some shade there.
I can go into the benefits of the info panel in just a second, but independent of that, once it's highlighted, you have this little pseudo effect here where you can swap all of the colors if you wanted. Or you can come down to the Ash themes and just switch between them. and it will update all of those items based on these colors. With this, you could also customize the colors as much as you want and then save your own theme so you can always get back to like the common ones you're using in production. But as far as importing from VS Code or Sublime or something, that's not a feature. Part of it is that those theme definitions are so detailed and complicated that it's really hard to distill them into these 10 or 11 categories. And part of it as well is that there's so many different features that not enough people use this tool to justify a lot of these custom importers. So it's really on you to choose those colors and create those themes yourself. But with the benefit, go ahead.
Oh, just saying now, as obviously the world of coding languages are constantly evolving, do you see adding other languages in the future? Is that something, or? So
by default, there's these 6 languages plus auto detect in the panel. But if I hit options, I'm hoping is this showing up? A little options panel?
It's not showing up. No, I think you need to show your whole screen.
But okay, just a second. Well, a little, if you hit the options panel, a pop-up comes up that allows you to choose, I think, 250 languages, like programming languages, to add to that language dropdown. So there are a ton of languages supported here already. We just kind of picked out a few of the most popular ones that might come in handy or that might come up. But like if what you're seeing isn't here, there are tons that you could bring into that list there to use.
And so even if it's not in there by default, you can still load it and you can have it work for you for the language that you
unless it's not in that list, but I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, like what are you working in if it's not in that list?
Exactly. Like what is the nonsense text you've copied from the internet and want to use in a movie if it's not one of these 200?
All the big ones are there. HTML, JavaScript, TypeScript, Docker files, Golang,
everything,
Rust,
like common. But being on a single layer and a single text layer, no less, you can do things like add the typewriter effect, which gives you some automatic code scrolly bits, or any of the like the text presets and Cody and blinky cursors and stuff. It's all live here, and because it's text there, it's all vector. You can go in and change the font to whatever you want. And
just the complete nonsense if you want. Just papyrus the entire code.
Exactly.
But what Zach just did there, like literally adding the typewriter effect, you just did like an FUI animation for any movie, and you could. And
that's there.
Yeah.
All you need to have left though is just the.
Exactly. Just the sound effects of the keywords.
Yeah, just like, someone punching a keyboard.
The big thing here is that this is all using text animators and selectors. And so the old way of doing this, you might like make a green color layer and do a shit ton of masks so that each specific word. But the problem is as soon as you change the font size or the text or anything about it, well, it's not live anymore. And so like Ash's big selling point is that it's all live all the time. You can always just like clear it, update the text, rerun the highlighting, and it'll just like keep updating.
But Zach, but clients never change their mind. Why would you want to keep it live? Why don't you want to just bake it right out of the gate? I mean, just choose the colors and don't change them ever.
It's so sad. Hopefully that never comes up. But
you've got a lot of hype in the chat, by the way, from Michelle, Sarah, and Fried Pixels.
I have a little like motion community group
little hype squad,
and I guess they just found the link. And
I love it. It's great to have you. Also, Marco San is saying that it's really cool. It's great to see that people are actually getting a good portion of use out of, like you said, a niche tool.
Yeah.
So because it's niche doesn't mean it's not useful.
And by the way,
right.
If you think about the definition of niche, it just means that it's required by a small number of users. But for that small number of users, this is like probably one of their biggest tools. So it doesn't mean it's insignificant by any means. You know, it's just if you need something like this, like we were just showing, this is just like a must-have.
It's just I mean, it was valuable to me as an artist working on these films and having something like this. So again, like I don't mean to denigrate it at all just by saying it's niche. I just want to point out that I think the comments were deleted. Somebody had some sad news in the Behance chat about their fish. But
oh no.
Got deleted for.
We have to have our hype squad bring it back up, bring back up the feeling.
Yeah, but yeah. Wow, that was startling. But like that's Ash. It's a specific thing. It's very focused. I mean, always open for more feature requests, and we have a few ideas, but we haven't spent a ton of time on it. But this is
So how long did it take to actually bring together?
Ooh. We I think our work ethic was maybe not the best, because it was kind of like a weekend or like an afternoon project for a long time, for I think a couple of months. But we were doing like 1 or 2 evenings a week or something like that.
Yeah, we were working at different like VFX studios, and it was just like partly an excuse just to hang out and get like a meal or coffee together, and then parallel work on this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it came through. A lot of like starts and stops of like different avenues we were exploring and things we were checking out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it.
And here's a little trivia fact. This was available before the expressions window in After Effects had syntax highlighting itself. So you could actually have used this by putting your expression into a text layer and then linking your whatever property expression to that text layer and using the good old eval, and you could have had a live full comp Windows size syntax highlighted code editor before that was available. There you go.
I never thought about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, and that works all the time. I don't know how close we are to running out of time, but
no, we've got all the time you need.
If we were to
live stream, baby, it's never gonna die.
Is this gonna work? Yeah.
24-hour stream. All right, guys.
Ryan,
all right.
You
guys take over.
Ryan, can you put up Zach's screen?
Oh yeah, sure. StreamYard's giving me a little.
I think he's trying the
I am. See, I didn't know if you were still looking or not.
Yeah.
Always.
A little creepy. So here, let me remove the.
Also, Fried Pixel is giving some good hype, but also Tom is saying that there are hundreds of YouTube channels specifically for teaching web devs. This would be perfect for.
That's a good point. Actually, you could do if you're
if you're into tutorial videos, this would be a great way to like zoom in on stuff.
Especially if you're trying to like an After Effects expressions tutorial video. Take note of this trick.
I actually use this trick when I'm teaching, like giving expression talks on conferences and things, where I edit the text in the layer and then have it update elements on screen. So here I've changed the text and it's messed up the highlighting, but just a quick clear and re-highlight fixes it.
And Zach, show the eval code in case people want to know how to do that, or is that proprietary secret?
So the idea is that I can't do a punch in here, but if you use the word eval, put little round brackets, and you just like pick whip up to that source text value, pick whip over to that, you will have to add the word dot value there. But now it's going to say take whatever text is on the layer itself and then treat that like code and run it as code. It's, again, like a very multiple step workaround thing, but it's a cool way to see on screen instead of writing that same wiggle here.
And once you have that rigged up, you don't have to change that expression. So
it's easy. This is also a nice way to have 10 different layers point to the same expression, so that here I could make it 250 and they're all going to do the same thing.
And also to have that visual cue as well, to see what's going on in the back end. You can easily just have it tied.
Yeah. Note that the eval will be sluggish if it's a really long expression, but again, I mean, that's not really an improved workflow. I would never suggest this workflow unless you're doing something very specific, but it's cool.
But for educational purposes, certainly.
Yeah.
And generally for if you're doing like in the comments said, if you're doing a YouTube tutorial on expressions, this is actually like just right now, Zach said I can't punch into the the UI itself is hard to read, but look, he just made that comp text is larger.
Oh yeah, I realized that's the equivalent of punching it.
That's kind of cool right there.
Very
quick, very easy.
Yeah.
Tom's also say you can also share variables between expressions this way when you hide the text layer.
Yes, but again, the like educator and community minded helper person in me is reluctant to share hacky workarounds that are just going to add more confused people. But yes, you could.
But what we can say, though, Zach, is that this is one of the things that makes After Effects a pretty awesome tool, that it has enough openings where you can actually go under the hood and make it do things that it was never designed to do. And that, in a way, is what got me all super excited about, taking After Effects to the next level. So while I agree with you that we shouldn't show how to do this stuff, it is possible to do a lot of things. The background renderer that I created, like that was really the first tool for AeScripts, was in itself a hack that I just put together. I had figured out a way of sending a render to the background, literally hacked it together and put it into a thing, and that's how it all got started. So yeah, After Effects is awesome that way.
You just make it bend as much as you can to do what you need it to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But that's great. So do you guys have anything planned in the future to work together again, or did you guys really step on each other's feet so much that it'll never happen again?
I don't know. I guess now with being in different cities, it's a little bit trickier. We used to be able to meet at the same coffee shop, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
I ran out of Montreal, moved to LA, and now I'm up in Portland. But
wow, you're hopping all over the place.
I'm still in Montreal.
Yeah.
Tom is also pointing out that you have an amazing School of Motion course named Expression Session.
I do.
For introducing motion graphic artists to start coding from scratch.
That's exactly the thing. I don't need to sell anything. Tom's here to do it. This is great.
I mean, what are friends for? Also, Fried Pixel is giving you love with background renderer Lloyd.
Yes, I see
that's
that.
Always good.
But Tom's also giving Zach some love for his School of Motion course, which is also highly recommended. If you want to learn expressions to the next level, take the School of Motion.
Not like a programming heavy, scary course. It's very much aimed at artists and animators and like everyday people. Just to teach you a bit of code, but mostly problem solving and like how to think technically and critically about the projects you're working on to like work smarter, not harder. And expressions are just sort of the medium for that. But yeah, Expression Session, check it out.
And actually, just to give another plug to School of Motion, School of Motion really puts a lot of thought and effort into creating courses that are really intended for you to like walk away with having learned something. There's so many free tutorials online that you can kind of like bang your head up around and put things together, or you can take one School of Motion course that's really thought out and well put together. In Expression Sessions, it's definitely an example of that. If you, like yourself, Ryan, you said yourself, I'm even scared to look at expressions, and there really is no reason you should be scared, and you'd be surprised how a course like Zach's and Noel's will help demystify the that scariness aspect that's out there.
And just dabbling with it, because it's language, so it'll build on top of itself as well, which is always kind of reassuring to know that just because you learn something one day, you can then apply it to the next level and then continue to build from there. Also, Motion Boutique is into the chat. Hello, Motion Boutique. How's it going? Also, Caloxy, thank you for tuning in and hanging out. We are just currently going over our last plugin for the day, and we're here with Ellen and Zach and going over Ash Syntax Highlighter. So
Fun things.
You'll be able to check out all of the sales now through Friday just on AeScripts.com.
Motion Boutique, by the way, is on sale this week as well, so check out all their awesome tools. You might have
really. Oh yeah, we talked about them a little bit earlier too.
Yeah.
And we'll be sure to also highlight them later in the week as well.
And
Zach, we know that you're.
Most of Zach's other tools will be on sale at a later time. I believe in
2 weeks. That's my fault. I should have
2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
And that week 4, Zach's tools are going to be on sale. So.
Yep. Last week of the sale. Such things as flow. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a little.
Let's blow you up. I got to blow you up real quick.
I don't think my wired earbuds are going to reach, but I have a little like flow embroidered logo up there.
Oh, nice.
There it is. Yeah,
There
check
you
it
go.
out.
Very
Did you embroider that, or did you get that embroidered?
No, my sister-in-law made it as a gift for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it's nice.
Cool.
Did she know what the plugin did, or did she just like, oh,
she has
it's a nice
no
logo?
idea. There was no one. She was like, oh, I understand this is some software or plugin Zach made. Let me just make this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice. That's cute.
it's very cute.
And then Zach, obviously you have your courses going on, and some other sales coming up next month. Alan, what's next for you?
Myself, I don't do that much After Effects work. This was a chance to kind of get my feet wet, and I hope maybe someday I'll make another plugin with or without Zach. We'll see.
What Alan's not saying is that he's doing AR VR stuff for the International Space Station.
Yeah, that's
a bit cooler than
casual.
That's what's keeping me busy. Like I'm in a company called Felix and Paul Studios, and we have a collaboration with NASA and with Time Magazine for a documentary VR series. It's in full 360 degrees in stereo, so it looks 3D, and it's like multiple episodes. They're about 20 minutes, half an hour each episode. There's 4 episodes, and they're all filmed at the actual International Space Station, which is the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
And I'm one of the few people who can say they pushed code to space, which is also something I didn't think I would ever be able to say in my life.
Right.
There's a few lines of code that I wrote that are orbiting space right now.
So you heard it here, guys. As soon as you start learning code, you can send stuff to space. So just now.
Yeah, I have the worst case of imposter syndrome every time I get to upload some.
That makes so cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to touch on before we say goodbyes?
I'll just mention the VR thing. It's available in the Oculus headsets if you have one of those, either Rift or Quest. Check it out. Yeah. It's Space Explorers on the store.
Very cool.
That's awesome. I'll have to download it. I got an Oculus back in November, and I played it probably through January, and I need to pick it back up because I have not touched it nearly as much as I should. I did a 3D stream on it though, which was cool. Which is where you can build models and stuff, which is always kind of wild.
It's fun.
But we'll see how that kind of develops over time too. See if motion graphics gets into VR anytime soon. So cool. Well, thank you guys so much. Zach, hope to see you again soon, maybe for the next sales.
A couple weeks.
And everyone, make sure you check out his stuff in advance so you either buy it full price because you want to give him full support, or if you want to hold off and save some pennies. That's always welcome as well. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Hey,
all right,
folks.
And I think that's it for you and me today as well, Lloyd. Is there anything else you wanted to add or you want to touch on?
No, we went an extra half an hour today. This is excellent.
Yeah, no, we went all the way. So we'll be back again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our 4th day. We have 5 days planned. So tomorrow we have the privilege of bringing on Rob Womack, who has some great plugins available in the sale from Marker, Maestro, Quick Add, and CM Barn Doors. And CM Barn Doors kind of lets you bring that natural feel to lighting and helps you bring to the next level. We'll be going into that more. We'll have him on, and we'll also be going over some of our other ones. As you see, we have Motion Boutique here. We can go into some more Motion Boutique, and it's great to have you guys all here. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know.
And thanks to everybody in the chat for all the support.
Yeah, absolutely. So many great conversations
going
on
your
today.
Little air horn animations.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, let me do the little hype thing. Although, for whatever reason, Streamer is giving me a hard time today with clicking delays.
You might have overdone it yesterday.
I think I might have. Abused it to its limit. So, oh, there it is. There we go.
It's almost better with a delay because it's like we think it's not going to happen, and then you're like, "Oh,
yeah, right." So yeah, but thank you to so many people. I'm going to try to not miss who I can, but thanks to Zach, Tom, Sarah, Brad Pickles, Michelle, Motion Boutique, Cloxy, Connor, It doesn't let me go through just like a list of names like I do on Behance on YouTube, but Joe, Elise, Eloy, Lassie, Emily, Alex, you name it, Abbas, and Lassie. And then, of course, thank you to Annika, Anna, Anthony, Bear, Gareth, Marco, Mike, Randall, and Saljug over on Behance. So you can catch us here tomorrow, same time, same place. And we're looking forward to it. Thank you again. And I'm going to see if I can queue up our sign off, but just like the air horns, it might surprise us. And I might.
Thank you.